Robby has been a driving force behind Atlanta's hospitality industry. He helped take a scrappy contemporary Southern restaurant and really turn it into a professionally managed company with 10 restaurants, 4 licensed properties, an award-winning catering and design company that at peak employment employs almost 1,000 people and 150 salaried managers. So many people in the Atlanta hospitality industry have gotten their start with Fifth Group. As a human, Robby has the most unbelievable sense of integrity of anyone I've ever met. He makes you a better human being. And I don't know of anyone who's ever worked with Robby that hasn't come away a better person.
Well, I don't really know where the initial desire to be in the restaurant industry came from particularly, but it is something I've wanted to do since I was a child. It may have started with my love of food in general, growing it and working in a big garden with my mother growing up, learning to cook for myself, and then really seeing the effects that serving food had on people and the response I got from them. And then at about 15 years of age, I started working at Mr. Gibby's Inn in Flint, Michigan, where I grew up. And once being in a restaurant and seeing all these things to come together, the environment, the energy, the music, people experiencing food and gathering like that, it all just clicked for me and I really loved it, and we decided at that point it is what I wanted to do with my life.
He's been passionate about food and people since he was a teenager.
South City Kitchen was started in 1993. I joined the original founders very soon thereafter. We went on to open some coffee shops, the food studio, Bold Catering, Design and Events, and eventually renamed the group Fifth Group Restaurants.
It really started with Robby. When he came in the early 90s, he just changed the feel. I mean, he helped us become the most respected restaurant group, in my opinion, in the city. Robby wasn't the kind of guy who would walk in on a Saturday night and blow things up by being emotional, or if anything was going on. As we know, those Saturday nights are high intensity. He was always smooth and steady and helped us put out fires when we needed to, helped encourage the staff. Robby was just always a great leader.
When I look at what Robby has done at Fifth Group, they've created an environment where when people walk through the door, they're energized. The Fifth Group restaurants have great food and great people, but they elevate lives. The people that work for the organization, and some that stay a long time, some that stay a short time and move on. But they've all been touched by Robby and the team and what they've done, and they understand about respect and compassion and relentless pursuit of doing things better.
You know, Robby was instrumental at the Atlanta Community Food Bank in connecting us to the food industry, to the restaurant industry. We had created a program in 1986 called Atlanta's Table. And there we were figuring out how to capture food that had been prepared but not sold. And that was a real challenge. You know, Robby stepped up very early on as both an advocate and a problem solver for us, and connecting us to the industry and certainly to his company as a way to help feed the hungry.
Well, I think philanthropy is very important in general, and Fifth Group as a company has been giving back to the communities we do business in since the very beginning, back in '93 when South City was established. I and the company have been very involved with Atlanta Community Food Bank for decades. You know, being in the food business and being surrounded by food all the time, it's very easy to take for granted, but there's just too many people in this day and age in our country that are food insecure and don't know where their next meal is coming from.
The other thing that people won't know about him is that he got into a program called, which I believe they call Eversting.
You know, Robby loves a challenge. My favorite is called the 29029 challenge. And so basically you have 36 hours to hike the equivalent of Mount Everest.
He does it with his wife, and so they went out to Whistler, and they climbed Whistler from to the top 8 times in a row.
When I think of Robby, relentless comes to mind, compassionate comes to mind.
Professional, trustworthy, driven.